West Side Story. Timeless, classic, universal in its messages. Forever young, forever relevant. Russ Tamblyn. Russ set the standard and raised the bar for generations of male dancers with his unforgettable performance in MGM's 1954 classic musical, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Right on. Still setting the bar. We still reference it. Russ's work as an actor, singer, and dancer has spanned 6 decades in movies, television, on the stage. And Russ continues to inspire a new generation of dancers with his timeless work. Currently, Russ is writing his autobiography entitled Dancing on the Edge, and continues his long-time passion as a fine artist in painting, drawing, and collages. His spacescapes have been displayed at exhibitions in the LA County Museum of Art and the LA Institute of Contemporary Art, and other works are currently featured in a number of touring galleries and a piece at the Getty. A dancer's dancer, and truly one of Hollywood's all-time greats, and a one-of-a-kind performer. West Side's bad boy riff, the incomparable Russ Tamblyn. All right, I will. Okay. Russ Tamblyn, everybody. George Chakiris. George made his film debut at 12 years old singing in the chorus of the 1947 film Song of Love. And George's career as an actor, singer, and dancer has spanned 6 decades in the movies, television, and on stage. He began as a dancer in Hollywood movies, dancing with Marilyn Monroe in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and in films like Brigadoon, White Christmas, There's No Business Like Show Business, and Flower Drum Song. George has become the successful designer of his own line of sterling silver jewelry called the George Chakiris Collection. You have to credit Jerome Robbins twice for seeing that George Chakiris was the right stuff. At an audition in New York, Jerome first cast George as Riff in the London West End production of West Side Story. And George did the show for almost 2 years when Jerome asked him to play the role of Bernardo in the film. George delivered a fiery performance that is now a part of cinematic history. In 1961, George went on to win both the Best Supporting Actor Golden Globe and Oscar for his powerful portrayal of Bernardo. Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't be more personally honored. A true Hollywood legend, George Chakiris. Rita Moreno, an American dream come true, an American treasure, an American icon. Rita made her Broadway debut in 1945, co-starring with a young Eli Wallach in the play Skydrift. Cut to 2011, where Rita just wrapped a 2-month run of her critically acclaimed one-woman show, Life Without Makeup, at the Berkeley Rep. This fall, Rita is starring opposite Fran Drescher in a new television series called Happily Divorced. Movie star, Broadway star, television star, recording artist, Rita's career has spanned 6 decades and continues to thrive on all fronts. In 2009, for her services to the arts, Rita was awarded with the American National Medal of Arts at the White House by the President. She is one of the few artists in history to win all of the awards, including 2 Emmys, a Tony, a Grammy, and an Oscar for her flawless portrayal of Anita in West Side Story. Miss Moreno was also the first Hispanic actress to win an Academy Award. A lady who is so down to earth and bigger than life and a star that continues to burn as bright as ever, the extraordinary Miss Rita Moreno. Rita Moreno!
Wow, I have one word for today, which is surreal. Just very surreal in that when I was 10 years old, I rehearsed for the first professional thing I did right down the street here at a little place. It used to be a church, I guess, and I did a play called The Stone Jungle that was directed by Lloyd Bridges, and that was the first time my mother brought me here, and I got to walk around here and look at all the footprints. And to me, it was like a holy ground for Hollywood, because I just saw names and things. But the best story actually is many, many years later. I was hanging out. I had a good friend. I had a lot of good friends, but mainly Nick Adams. He did a movie, did a series called The Rebel, and Nick and I were pals, and Dennis Hopper and Natalie Wood, and we all hung out together, and we used to go out and have dinner a lot and lunch a lot, and we loved to eat at Mexican restaurants a lot because we all loved margaritas. So we used to go a lot all over the place, and one day we decided to come to Hollywood. And we had lunch at Musso Frank's, and the four of us came out in front of the restaurant, and we thought, well, let's take a walk. We had a few drinks, and so we thought, well, let's take a walk down Hollywood Boulevard. And an argument, kind of very light argument, but it pursued about which way should we go. And we thought, and Dennis wanted to go down toward Vine Street, and he was, saying, oh yeah, let's go down Hollywood and Vine. And Natalie insisted on coming this way because she said, oh, we could go to Grauman's Chinese and see all the footprints. So we talked about it and argued. Of course, Natalie got her way. She always got her way. And so we ended up walking this way, and we came down, and we came here, and we all walked around. And I remember there was a moment when I was down, I was checking my handprints in somebody, and we were sort of yelling at each other. And I looked up, and here were all of us, all groveling around on the cement, checking out the handprints and the footprints. And Natalie was saying, oh, look at how small so-and-so's handprints are. I can't even remember. And I remember Dennis saying, look how big the feet are of Joel McRae. I can't believe it, And so we had more fun, and we finally left. But little did I ever realize, but now I really realize how much Natalie would have enjoyed this day as much as I do, and I'm sure that all of us do. It is absolutely phenomenal, and I'd like to thank especially the Hoag family, Michael and his wife Athena and his daughter Athena Zoe Hoag. They're the ones that came up with this idea many, 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 many months ago, and called George and I to talk about it. And of course, Jennifer Lang at Fox, who helped so much to put this all together. Everybody has worked just tirelessly, and it's just incredible. Originally, we were going to go to the Egyptian theater, and I mean, how many people can write in Egyptian? I don't know, but anyway, it's a thrill to be here today. I'm completely honored, and thank you very much for everybody coming in, and I hope you come to the film tonight and enjoy it. Who's next?
Well, okay, I didn't trust myself to speak from memory, so I have written something down that I hope is what I would like to say. Of course, it's so fantastic to be here with you. It's fantastic. Thank you, Rita. She knows. It's so wonderful to be here with Rita and Russ, and obviously with all of you. But it's sort of a small world in a way for me, because 60 years ago, 60 with an S, in 1961, I took my first dance class a couple of blocks from here at the American School of Dance, 7021 Hollywood Boulevard. And to pay for my classes, I worked downtown as an errand boy in the advertising department of the May Company, 8 to 5 every day. And I took 2 classes every night, 6 to 9. And the last class finished at 9. And I would dream my way home on Hollywood Boulevard I rented a room at a rooming house just the other direction on Hollywood Boulevard. Sorry? Anyway, I passed Grauman's Chinese Theater every night for many, many, many months. And every time I would pass this place, I would look up at this incredible marquee, and I would realize I would passing the footprints of all these incredible people in the movie industry over all these decades. Just fantastic people, and people that I loved to watch so much when I was a kid, you know. And in my wildest dreams, I never imagined that 10 years later, in 1961, West Side Story would premiere at this very theater. So it was a little bit of a circle, if you like. And it's, what am I writing here? What have I written? Printed.
Try this.
Okay. No. I have to say this. Okay. And here's what George was trying to say. And now, oh boy, truly, I thought about this before I wrote it, okay? Amazingly, to top it all off, here we are, 50 years later, and putting our handprints next to all these incredible people, Russ and Rita and I. What a fantastic occasion, a day for us. And, you know, there's a book called The Magic of Believing, and it was given to me by my very good friend, Phyllis Diller. Phyllis is from Ohio, too, as I am. So when I was dreaming my home at night, you know, on walking past Grauman's Chinese Theater, I guess somehow without knowing it, I must have been believing. I don't know. Anyway, so Rita and I shared another fantastic time in 1962 when we went to the 34th Academy Awards together. Now, the car came to pick me up, and then we went to Rita to pick Rita up, and I went upstairs, and Rita said, "I'm practicing my loser's face." Do you remember that? Yeah. Well, she didn't have to use that face because we both had the good fortune to walk away with awards that night. And, you know, it was an incredible evening for both of us. But on that night, I didn't have the presence of mind to thank anybody. I didn't thank anyone. So I would like to make amends for that now. And so just a couple more minutes, I'll try to do this. And I really need to thank my mother and father, the most beautiful, honorable, kind, ethical, gracious, loving people I have ever known. My brothers and sisters and I were really very blessed to have such amazing parents. And I want to thank my sisters, Virginia, Catherine, Viola, and my brothers, Harry and Steve, for their love. And I very much need to thank, of course, one of the major men behind West Side Story, and that's Jerome Robbins, because it was Jerry who cast me in the London company as Riff, and I think it was Jerry who also cast me as Bernardo in the film version. So I really want to make a special thank you to Jerry, because I think I owe a great deal personally to this incredible man. Thank you. And also, I didn't get to thank Robert Wise. I didn't thank the Mirisch Company. I didn't thank anybody. So I would like to say thank you to Walter Mirisch, the Mirisch Company, Jerome Robbins, Bob Reddy, Anyway, thank you to all of those people that I didn't thank at the time. And I'm finished.
Yeah, God says you're finished.
You're over now. Your speech is gone.
That was perfect timing.
I didn't thank anybody either. I was so astonished. I was sure that Judy Garland was going to get it because she was in a hospital bed. You know how that goes in my business. What is astonishing to me is that I remember very clearly one day walking down the Goldwyn lot with George. Come over here. I love you. This is my pal. You remember walking down the lot with me in Goldwyn, and I'm saying, I just heard, George, that they're going to charge $5 for the opening night ticket, and they reserve seats for a movie. I said, nobody's going to come. Don't you love that? Well, you don't. Okay, never mind. But what is amazing to me, and you've probably heard this enough today, but it is astonishing to me that it's not only 50 years, There are a lot of films that are 50 years old, but there are, as far as I know, very few, if any, films that are still playing somewhere on TV, in theaters all over the world. That is what is astonishing. And I am just thrilled. I think it's time for this film to be memorialized this way. I wish Natalie were here. I think that would really complete the quartet. It's lovely. But I do want to point out to George and Russ that our little thing is not as big as those. Just want you to know. Thank you so much for coming. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you. Justin, Cameron, Fernanda, my family.